Okay, let's dive into this. You hear about AI everywhere, right? It's changing pretty much everything. But what happens when you point that technology at a nation's entire history? Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on the U.S. National Archives, that's NARA, and figure out what's really going on.
I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, doesn't it? This idea of a single, giant AI that's been fed every document, every photo, every single record the US has ever created, an AI that literally knows the complete story. But is that really what's happening? So let's just ask the question straight up. Has NARA actually built a massive language model using its entire collection? And the answer, which might actually surprise you, is a very clear, very direct no. That whole idea of one all-knowing history AI is, at least for right now, pure science fiction. Now look, this idea wasn't just pulled out of thin air. NARA did have this idea, this plan for a custom LLM. The goal was to train it on their huge collection of digital files, the Electronic Records Archives. But here's the key. As of right now, it's still just a plan. It's a future pilot. Nothing's actually been built. So that leads to the obvious next question. Right, so if they're not building some giant history brain, what are they actually doing with AI? Well, the reality is, it's a lot more practical. It's less about creating a single oracle and more about using a set of really smart, targeted tools to help everyone out. They're focused on three key areas. First up, semantic search. The easiest way to think about this is a search engine that gets what you mean, not just the exact words you happen to type in. Super helpful. Second, PII detection. This one is absolutely crucial for automatically spotting and hiding sensitive stuff, personal information, to keep people's privacy safe. And third, metadata generation, which is basically an AI that helps label and describe all these records, making this unbelievably massive collection actually searchable. And get this, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. They're being super smart about it. They're taking powerful, existing AI models from places like Google and Amazon and then fine-tuning them for their specific needs. The goal is simple and practical: make search better and keep private information private.
But here's the thing. Using even these targeted tools is way, way harder than it sounds. You got to imagine the archives isn't some neat, tidy library. It's more like a nation's attic. It's stuffed with everything from perfectly organized digital files to, faded handwritten letters from the 1800s that have coffee stains on them. It's messy, it's chaotic, and that's the monumental challenge they're up against.
So what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how NARA is tackling each of these huge problems head-on. For all that messy sensitive data, they're using cutting-edge scanning tech and that PII detection we talked about. To deal with AI bias, the whole black box problem, they demand transparent models, and, this is key, they always have a human being in the loop. And for the skills gap, they're training their own workforce to get them up to speed. And look, none of this is happening by accident or on the fly. NARA has a whole formal public plan for how they use AI. You can think of it like their official rulebook for innovation. It's all designed to make sure every single step they take is safe, ethical, and actually builds our trust. Inside that rulebook, there's this really important term you need to know: high-impact AI. So what does that mean? Basically, it's any AI system that could have a real, significant effect on your rights, your safety, or your ability to get critical services. This is the stuff that gets the highest level of scrutiny, as it should. So you might be wondering, how many of these super high-stakes, high-impact AI systems are they actually using right now? The answer is zero. A big ol' zero. And that one number tells you pretty much everything you need to know about their cautious, safety-first approach. They're building up their skills before they even think about deploying something with that level of risk. And this whole philosophy, it comes right from the top. Their official plan says it all. They're committed to using AI, sure, but they're just as committed to fostering public trust in how they do it. It's really a dual mission: innovate, but do it in a way that makes everyone feel confident. So, what happens if a system messes up? They have this hard stop rule, and it is exactly what it sounds like. If an AI system is found to be out of line, they don't just tweak it, they shut it down immediately. And it stays off until the problem is totally fixed and it can pass their really tough validation process all over again. So when you put all of this together, the tools, the caution, the rules, what you get is a clear strategy, a plan to build a smarter, more accessible archive, but one that is, above all, safe. And this whole careful approach, it's about more than just tech.
It's about protecting the very integrity of our history.
All right, so let's just quickly recap the big takeaways from all this. Number 1, NARA is not building a single history brain. Instead, they're using very specific AI tools to make records easier to find and more secure. They're doing it all under a really strong plan that puts safety and trust front and center. The goal here is responsible innovation and always keeping a human in control.
And this really leaves us with this huge question. And it's not just for the archivists, it's for all of us. As this technology gets more and more powerful, how do we find that perfect balance? How do we use AI to unlock the past while making absolutely sure we protect the integrity of our most important stories?